Hello, my name is Diego Freire, and I will be discussing my CIT 260 object-oriented programming game. The game that has been working with my team and everything that has been done for my game and each aspect and every implementation and every part of the game will be explained in this video. And so let's begin with the video and we will see how much it has been done. First of all, I want to remember the development process. And one of the very first things that I learned in this class, beginning with the define part, where you are supposed to define what you have in mind and what you need to work. Once you have an idea, you go to the design part where you find a solution for your idea, for your thoughts. Then you instantly go to start working on your program, to start creating classes and aspects to create a fully functional program. Once you do that, you go and test your program, and in this part, you will find you maybe will find mistakes that need to be changed in order for your program to work. So just make sure that everything is corrected in the program or everything won't go as planned. So we go to the final part, which is the deployment. The deployment part, once your program is done and corrected, fully functional, you go and sell it to the customer, send the program to the customer, and he will be the judge of what you have done. So having said that, let's go to the card game implementation. This is the project in which I have been working with my new group. I have all the information, um, all things that I have done will be explained in this part. Okay. So let's talk about this card game. This card game was supposed to test the player with a series of questions, and it was supposed to be a fun game about learning something new, like guessing. You need to find the answer, think, maybe with a friend, and find the answer to the questions. These are the classes, all the classes that I have been working with: the Start Program View classes, the My Menu View classes, and the Game Menu View classes. And we will discuss each of these classes, each of those. There are other classes in the game, and I will explain those so you might know how the game has been developed by the team uh, before me. So let's quickly go to the program. So here we are in the program, the card game CIT 260 Flash card game. You will see all the packets that have been done in the program: Flash game, Flash card game control, every control file according to the diagram, the Flash card game model, each model of each class defined, and the view menu. I was tasked once I joined the group, I was tasked about working with the menu, with the presentation menu for the program. So this was my main responsibility, and this is in what I have been working all these weeks with my knowledge and everything. Okay, so let's quickly begin to review this program. Here we are in the first class, the start program view .java class. You will see that we have imported some other models around the program to help us to define the functions. We will begin with the public class start program view, public void display start program view. This function displays the first presentation of the program to the player. So let's recall let's recall about this presentation layer. This was my responsibility, and the presentation layer it's very important because it is the first thing that the player actually gets to see. Sorry, this is the first thing that the player actually gets to see, and not only to see, but also to interact or work with. The player will work with this layer and will find many other responses from the program to him. So we have to do a little bit of coding here. So this is a Boolean condition. It is false to begin to tell the program that nothing has been done until the player activates the program. This function gets the name of the player. This statement calls the function that has been implemented inside this Java class. There is an if condition with the player's name to be set to uppercase. It is an equal, and once it's done, it will display this do action with the player's name with a while done condition. So we will quickly review all these functions here. This is the private string get player's name. This function allows the player to first interact with the program. Okay, so what this function do, the scanner keyboard allows the player to type in his name once the program is first activated. So a new scanner will begin. I left some comments to help me remember. Get the in file for keyboard. The first value will be empty, and this will be the value to be returned also. The Boolean condition is set to false to initialize that to tell us that nothing has been entered yet. There is a while loop which will print a message, and it will continue with the condition of the next line. It will display a next line of information that will be able to fulfill. There is an if statement, and this is an interesting part because this if statement allows us to make the correct name. If we type a value less than one character, it will be programmed to display this message. Value cannot be blank. Okay, so you have to type in something or you won't be able to continue. Once you enter the correct value, the loop will break and it will its lifespan will close. So let's also recall about the lifespans of the variables. Remember that a variable lifespan begins once the function is called to work. Each statement is then tested inside the function. Once it ends its lifetime, it ends sending the results. Once the function displays the results, its lifetime ends. So this is the lifespan of the variable. It begins once it's called, and ends once it displays the solution of the program. So let's quickly continue with the next function. This is the private Boolean do action condition. So we have a string player's name. Inside this function, I have defined some conditions for the players entering their names. There is an if condition. If the player's name class is less than 2 characters, it will display a message. It will prompt a message, invalid player's name. The name must be greater than 1 character in length, and it will return a false statement. Once you pass this class, there is another condition to create the player class inside the function, and there is an if condition. If the player doesn't go, if the creation of the function doesn't go as planned, it will prompt this message error created player. Okay, and this function will allow us to display the player class, which is defined in this Java class, as I mentioned before in the get player's name. So continue. We define the private string prompt message class here, and this interesting part here is where we begin to developing the first menu, the first presentation for our class. You will see that this is the public start program view. This prompt message will display uh, the program requiring you to type in your name, and once you type your name, this program will display this banner, this public void class banner, and I have defined the menu of the class here in this banner to be displayed. Okay, so once you type in your name, it will display the banner, and you will see the rest of the program. So once you start the game, this part will appear first. Yeah, I have to clarify a bit about this. This part will appear first, this menu. Once this appears, this next class will go on. Once you type in your name, this menu will appear. Welcome to the game, the player's name. We hope you have a lot of fun. And this is the first player menu that has been implemented that I have worked with. I added each section, each aspect was added, and I will explain all of those. So this ends the first Java class that I made. And another interesting fact is that I use the divide and conquer method. Sorry. I use the divide and conquer method, and this method allows us to create a big program, a big class, and these subclasses, we define each subclass, we give them a form and a structure. Once we made those, we use the main class to call the other subclasses, and we get a fully completed program with the main principal class and all the subclasses. These are some interesting subclasses that I made that I will be explaining in this program too. So here's the function to create a main menu view. Main menu view. This main menu view class, the first time I type in main menu view class, it was underlined by red marks because the function has not been implemented, or better say, the class has not been created inside the program. So I had to create it. So I create the subfunction main menu class. This is the next Java class that we will discuss. This is one of my favorites too. Um, sorry. So we have two string values, the menu and the prompt message here in this class that will be used. The first public class that you can see is the main menu, defines that this menu class contains these aspects: the main menu, start game, save game, help how to play the game, save game, sorry, and the quit function. And I will explain these little functions here. The public void display main menu function, the boolean done false, the do. This is a condition for displaying the main menu view. To get this menu option, here is an if condition. The menu option must be entered with upper cases equals to q, and it will return the value. The same with the player's name class that I mentioned in the start program view.java class. Once that is done, the function ends. The private string get menu function. Here, this function was actually being developed by my group, but they once they left the project, I I could implemented it a bit, but I still have something small to figure out about this class. It is still working. The class is working and can be called once the program runs. So let's continue. This is the do action function. This is the main class that will perform an action once the player interacts with the program. I have made I have made a class, choice class, and this class states that every time player enters a determined letter, it will call the corresponding class. Once the player enters the correct letter, N for start new game, G for display existing game, and H for displaying help menu, and S for saving the game. Okay, so here is another demonstration of the divide and conquer method. When first I was working with this part, all these new functions were underlined by red, and that was the program telling me that these functions that I was trying to define didn't actually exist inside the program. So I have to define all these small parts and make them sub-functions, make them work, and display some kind of content once a letter was typed in by the player. Okay, so here are another conditions. If no result is entered, it will return false. And these are the sub-functions that I was talking about: the start new game, display existing game, display help menu, and save game. Okay, so once defining, when I first defined the start new game function, there was nothing here, and there was a message I can't remember exactly, but it was telling me that I could, if I didn't enter a correct statement inside the subfunction, the subfunction wouldn't work, will either work, and would negatively affect my program. So I have to enter a function in each one of those. Once I define each subfunctions, it was done, and the program was completed. And I will show you in an instant how all these parts connect and relate to each other. This is another subfunction, the game menu view. I was working with this. I was working with this section. It was going to be another separated menu. You will see that this function reacts if it is called from any part of the program. I still have to decide uh, some letter to call it, but this function is fully working. So this is the game menu view, and we will go to the principal class, the CIT 260 flashcard game.java. In this part is the important. It's very important because in this part we test all our codes to begin working. Here it is, every class that has been imported previously by my teammate, um, with by my team, which is not here now. And yeah, mostly by my team. Once they left all these parts without definition or resolution. Inside the main string args, we place the functions objects, to create new objects. If we want, let's remember that if we want to create an object, we have to define that object inside a class, a Java class. So if we want to make something new, we have to define it. Once it is defined, the object, the object or class will work here. This was a testing material for the first aspects of the game. You will see an example of what the game was supposed to be. Questions, what is the answer to life, the universe, everything. And some answers that the player could enter, the limit to the answer test, conditions, true, false, generate test player, question 1, question 2, all these functions that can you see here were supposed to make the game work, but the game didn't work correctly. As far as I tested the game wasn't displaying anything. It wasn't actually displaying anything until I made the main menu, until I work on all the presentation of the game and define each aspect of the game. So let's continue. I will show you every part of this program so you can see how much the game has been um, improved or was improved by my team while they were working on it. Private static questions, it generates questions, a question generator, question ID, text, difficulty, answers, question answers, returns questions. It is a bunch of code here that we have. It is a bunch of code that we have here. Private, private static answer generate test answer, private static subject generate test, subject list, question list, public stated get player, public stated game, current game, public stated void set current game, public static void set player, and here is where the code ends. So far we have been discussing how the program works, and I have explained um, sorry, I have explained so far how the game was being developed, and now I will test the game. Once you want to test the game, you click on this button here. So we will see how how part how each part interacts with each other. Okay? So as I explained first, this banner will appear giving a welcome message to the game, and you will have to enter your name, and this function will allow you to enter your name, will scan the information that you enter, will give a condition that you must be more than one value to enter for the function. Okay, so you have to enter something more. Once you enter your name, it will be displaying the main menu view, and once you are in this menu, you will see the you will see the divide and conquer method in action. You will see how each section of the menu, how each section of the main menu is called once you press a letter, especially this part, quit. Once you press Q, the program will actually end, and you will have to you can begin later if you want. So I have to define. So let's begin. I set I set every aspect of the game, and now we will test the game. So let's run the game, and I will explain. So here we are. The game is now running. If we make a better look at the game here. Welcome to the flashcard game. To test your knowledge about different subjects and have fun. You can select a specific challenge and compete with others. Find the missing answers, team up, and learn something new. Please enter your name. So I will enter my name, Diego Freire. I press enter. Welcome to the game, Diego Freire. We hope you have a lot of fun. So this is the message that displays after I enter my name. Once I enter my name, let's remember that inside the player's name function there is a statement that allows for the player to enter information on the next line. So with that being said, the program can continue. So we are now in the main menu of our game. This null is because nothing has been entered yet. So let's test each part of the game. This is my favorite part. I like how all of this work once I implemented it. So let's begin with start game with the letter N. As you can see, the start new game function has been called. As we can recall in this part, the start new game function will be called once you press the letter n. Okay, this is a sub-function that is called by its main function. Let's continue with the get and start a save game, or I should resume that load game. Okay, letter G, it has been successful. It also works if I enter an uppercase letter G, start existing game. The function is still called. Let's continue with the display help menu. The function is successfully called once you press the letter as we define in this switch function, and we turn each of these characters into separated sub-functions, as you can see here. Start new game, display existing game, display here menu, and save game. Okay, so let's continue. There are help, help menu. It's called web menu. Save our game. Please save my game. Save game function call. Suspect still works. What if I don't enter any value? Invalid value. The value cannot be blank. It is telling you that you must enter something for the program to work. What if I enter a number? Invalid selection. Try again. That is because this value is not supported according to the conditions that I specified in the program. This is another condition. Value cannot be blank. So this is the invalid selection. So what if I enter many numbers? It will display the same message. What if I enter a different letter, different from the menu? Invalid selection, valid selection, invalid selection. And finally, we can simply quit our program pressing Q, inserting the letter Q. So the program ends, giving us the total time which has been activated. So I forgot to explain something once we made the program. There is a condition once entering your name. Okay, if you press 1, if you press a single letter, this prompt message will appear. If you if you type the if you type something that doesn't make any sense, the name must be greater than one character in length. And if you type two characters, the game should work as expected. Welcome to the game, Diego Freire. We hope you have a little fun. So we can continue working with all the functions and testing each function to see that all the presentation layer works works very well in my opinion, and I feel very happy to work with this layer. I have learned so much to especially with this define and conquer method, which has helped me to create this project, this big layer presentation, just dividing it into sub functions, a main menu, a main menu function, and each sub function getting called once the player types in the correct letter from the keyboard. So yeah, this this is my game, and all what I have done so far. I I really try my best to keep the game working and updated as possible, but it was a bit difficult for me to end the project. To I was working in the help menu, but everything became a bit harder once my team left. So I have to continue working in the project. So well, it's still very good. I really like how the presentation of the game looks, how every function works, and I really think that sorry, that it is a great game, a great menu, and a good presentation. And I really like this project. So these have been my presentation for my CIT 260 object-oriented programming class. I hope that we have learned or recall what we have been learning in all this semester. I'm very grateful for the help of my instructor who gave me the chance to submit this project, and despite the situations that I had with my team and everything that. So yeah, I am very grateful and I have fun. I really had fun working with this menu. I really like, and it's something I want to learn a bit more. Hope I can learn a bit more the next time I continue working with this project. Having said that, I end this presentation. I'm very grateful for everything and for the help that I received from my instructor. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. So I end this presentation and I hope you like the project. Thank you and see you later. Bye.